Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a Blaze casting presentation, bringing you guys a game, the finals round of the SECS 18.3 tournament. So this is going to be the last game for the evening before my video guide that I'll be recording, but we do have here Genesis going up against Can You Ring, which is a team developed by Rorgok and Splinter. Presumably, I mean, they currently have the captain of Baby We Were Touching, but I have no idea who that is. So I'm going to go with Rorgok and Splinter as the cool guys that everybody knows, or people who follow any Dota very closely. But nevertheless, going on into the game, and hopefully we see some awesome play like previous round. Genesis last round just took it down in style. They did really good action on the tri lane, and although they did lose a couple kills early, they came back into it, and especially once that Batrider had that Blink Dagger in that 1v1 situation on bottom, he just transitioned into a really active initiation style that really panned out for their team very effectively. The Lifestealer farmed amazingly, and hopefully we can see more awesome action from them there. So to start things off, we do have a number of bans and picks already on the board. We have the Magnus, Batrider, Undying, and Darkseer banned out, but that generally leaves a couple of different options open. We do have Rubik and Invoker still available. We have the Bounty Hunter just now picked up. Maybe a Templar Assassin picked up for their solo mid hero, which to this point has been Shingu. So Shingu will probably be picking up that Templar Assassin. Jakiro will be handed over to either Medic or the Capitalist, and from that they will have really powerful lanes in general. I mean, Templar Assassin really difficult to deal with in the solo mid 1v1 situation. She's really not the easiest hero to shut down, and definitely one of the easiest heroes to get farm with aggressively, that refraction doing so much. So unfortunately for Team Can You Ring, they are going to have to figure out exactly how they're going to deal with that, obviously needing some damage over time effects to burn through that refraction. Otherwise she's just going to be so defensive with her skill set that she can play as offensively as she wants, dive towers, etc. So they're going to probably look for some kind of counter in the middle lane. I've seen Axe kind of picked up to counteract her in some cases, but maybe just like a Venomancer or a Leshrac would also be promising. We'll have to see. But they're going to be looking to draft up against that. There's still plenty of good options. Like I said, Rubik is rather potent himself, but they're going to go with the Venomancer to start things off. A good pickup there. Poison Sting and Gale, both of them ticking over time to kill out that refraction. Not sure if he's going to go solo mid or maybe do kind of a dual lane situation with like a Chaos Knight. We'll have to see, but we do have the Chen picked up. I haven't seen too much jungle action recently. Saw an Enigma game, and that went alright, but in general the jungle has been generally reserved for the carry once he transitions into farm. So having a pure jungler like Chen who just moves over to gank the lane as fast as possible and roam around while using the jungle creeps at his disposal, that is a little bit of a different pace than what we've been looking at thus far. Curious to see if they want to use it in an aggressive tri lane where they have put Chen in the enemy jungle and take advantage of their creeps, or if they're actually just going to go for the standard 2.511 where the defensive tri lane gets a hard carry very well farmed up, like a Faceless Void or something like that. But Keeper Light has been picked up, so where Chen and Venomancer shine, very effective, are in pushing setups. They, with the Plague Wards, dealing piercing damage, which does 1.5x coefficient to the creep waves, as well as Chen having those controlled Holy Persuasion neutrals to have like 1000 HP to tank up the tower, that kind of thing. It's really good mechanics, both of them, for bringing down towers really early on. So Keeper Light is a really natural lane support pickup to kind of counteract that. He can counter push like a boss with that Illuminate Chakra magic, and generally hold on to the towers for a lot longer than you would normally see them, especially against this lineup here. Now, along with that, they are seeing a number of bans coming on out, and we'll take them as they come. But for the time being, the Lone Druid has been banned out, along with the Nature's Prophet and the Puck. The Puck, solid ban out, since they definitely don't want to have to deal with somebody that's that survivable in an off-lane situation, especially since that'll pull them into a really bad spot with the Dream Coil. Venomancer is very squishy, and Bounty Hunter, revealed within a century, which would be at the center point of the Dream Coil, would be very devastating and very hard to keep alive, even with Hand of God. So the Dream Coil there being quite a menace, and as well as the Silence for any pickups that they want to go into, like any kind of caster. I mentioned Rubik and Invoker like 5 times over by now, I'm sure, but whatever. Anyways, Tidehunter, another solid ban out. Not sure if that's exactly what they wanted to go with, since they already had what I would consider 2 lane supports, but I have seen Keeper of the Keeper of the Light play on the offlane so that he can counter push out in the appropriate circumstance. But Windrunner is going to be drafted up for an interesting position. I'm not sure. Again, their lanes are going to be a little bit mixed up. If Venomancer wants to go for the middle lane, they need Windrunner to play supportably. So that'll be an interesting pickup, and we'll see how well Team I can't even remember right now. It's Can You Ring? Then if Windrunner, if they have a good Windrunner player, that's going to be pretty important there. But thank you guys for tuning in thus far. Sorry, I'm off to a weird start, but we'll get on into it as soon as the game gets going. Let me get chat open. There we go. Anywho, the Face of Void actually gets picked up by Genesis. That's really interesting. Definitely going to be picked up by Zhao Yun. He's been playing really good carry action so far this game. He's going to be farming up very effectively there, and we'll have to see how that works out for them. The meld increases the damage that the enemies receive by reducing their armor, which will lead Face of Void to bash down somebody extremely quickly when they're already on half-life. But the Gyrocopter has been picked up, and that's a really interesting hero of choice. Maybe we can go with a Venomancer Gyrocopter dual lane mid versus the TA, try to counter that lane at the very least, and then have Windrunner solo, Bounty Hunter solo, and the Chen in the jungle. So I guess that would be like a 1-2-1. 0.5? But nevertheless, it could actually work for them as far as what they're looking at. Windrunner and Bounty Hunter are both very survivable in the fact that Bounty Hunter can zone out behind the creep wave, keep sentries. As long as there's no sentries on the field, he can just be perfectly fine with Shadow Walk, and once he forces sentries, just play very conservatively. But the Queen of Pain might not allow them to do that. That's going to be one hero that if they let her get experience, she's going to be able to be very mobile in the game and just put out a lot of aggression across the board. So interesting pickup there. I'm curious to see who's going to be picking that up, and it's actually going to be Jing, who has been thus far their off-lane hero, so possibly picking up an off-lane Queen of Pain, or a solo safe lane Queen of Pain, which doesn't look like it to be the case. Okay, so yeah, Jing is going to go on the bottom lane solo, Chingu going to be on the Templar Assassin's mid, going for that bottle rush with 354 gold saved up, and then Medic, and his name was Capitalist, but now he's Dota 2 ALTV. I'm going to go with Capitalist still, because that's what I'm familiar with. Still the same guy. And with that, Zhao Yun will be farming up with them on the top lane. It's natural to go for a defensive tri-lane, based on the fact you have a Face of Void. He's not the aggressive carry that has that initiating stun, that initiating slow disable. So that's generally going to be what he's going to be trying to go. Has a very interesting set of cosmetics to go along with it. So Vintage Immortal Mace especially, but also 67 Chronosphere kills. Interesting. And that one has 151. Cool stuff, they're all strange. So he definitely invested in his Face of Void, and I would presume that means he plays him quite a bit. So I'm looking forward to what this guy has up his sleeve. He's already impressed me a lot with his Luna and Lifestealer play. So we'll see some nice action coming out from him on the Face of Void. Have a quick pause coming out, and then we'll get on into the game. But another thing to mention is the Radiant lineup here. We were touching in the dark is picking up the Windrunner. Probably just going to call her Windrunner. Waragok on the Venomancer this time around, so he's going to be playing the lane support. As per his usual thing. And then we do have Al Capone on Gyrocopter. Possibly going on safe lane, we'll have to see. But then we have the Bounty, RH Excellion, and Splinter on the Chen. So that'll see. We see a lot of consumables picked up by Chen. I love that kind of super uber support play coming out of a Chen player. He doesn't really need items early on. Arcane Boots, Basilius, and Mechanism are really strong later on. But right now, all he has to do is Holy Persuasion for 100 mana, and that will give him a number of creep camps right off the bat. So he'll be perfectly fine just with that Tango and Branch, and I think that's really solid to have that smoking potential early on, get the cooldown rolling on Smoke of Deceit so you can do them more often, and of course having sentries and observers to control what's going on down there. As Queen of Pain does not have any wards in her inventory, but if she did and was trying to block off this spawn, she would not be able to with good sentry utilization. However, it looks like it's going to be a 3 versus 1 type scenario here, 1 versus 3, 3v1. So with that being the case, I think that right off the bat Genesis has an advantage in lanes in the sense that Faceless Void will be getting free farm, and free farm Faceless Void is a very, very scary sight. So I'm not sure if they're going to send the Bounty Hunter up on top. If that is the case, yeah, there's not going to be too much that they can do to contest the FV's farm. And that's going to be a problem. Transitioning into mid-to-late game, he is just going to wreak havoc with good Chronospheres and big kills coming out there. So expecting a lot out of that, but that does not mean that the game is decided at the 0-minute mark with the draft and the lanes. They have plenty of options at their disposal. They're looking to control all the lanes and try to shut down whoever they can. For the time being, the Venomancer is actually going to go supportive on the lane on bottom, but I definitely suspect him to be transitioning in to gank up Chingu in the near future, probably around when he's level 4 or 5. But in the meantime, just trying to zone out Jing a little bit. He does not have Poison Sting, but does have at least the Gale. Does not have Vision for the time being, getting fogged out a little bit. Jing blinks over and will take a minimal amount of damage as a result. But good usage of Blink just to make sure that he doesn't take too much auto attack damage as he tries to sustain. But unfortunately for him, he's only gotten 62 experience, and if they keep the Creequilibrium in this area here specifically, it's going to be very difficult for Quap to get that experience advantage he's looking for. In the meantime, RH Excellion watching out the creep stacks, trying to block it off with his own body. Actually didn't. I'm kind of surprised that he didn't walk in there and negate the spawn. He could have easily done it based on his positioning, but chose not to. So there he is, hiding out his position, and instead he's going to try to disrupt it in some fashion, or maybe just, I don't know, there's no experience to be had because there's no creeps that are dying to allies, I don't know, whatever he's doing, he's just trying to get anywhere near the action and maybe creep jack a little bit by last hitting some neutrals or something. But there was a ping going on out. I'm not sure how they would know that, but based on the fact that he's been shadow walking under trees. But if he can get a last hit on the creep, it's great. He's not going to bother though. RH Excellion now visible. I'm not even going to bother with that because I don't know what he's doing. However, he might get caught out here. Pops off his shadow walk once more, but now down to 80 mana, and he's used a lot of his mana. He will have to regenerate some life, and in the end, he's getting 0% experience out of this, sitting at 36, which is even worse off than the Windrunner, or sorry, the Queen of Pain was. Now she's 62. But nevertheless, they're both still level 1, and the Windrunner versus TA matchup, that's a little bit more interesting. The bottle is coming out for the Templar Assassin at the moment. Not Flying Courier, but not a big deal at this stage in the game. However, some nice sentry action coming out of the Capitalists, warding off to control the top rune spawn, so that they don't have to worry about Windrunner taking care of that. Ice Path does miss, and is not going to be very effective in that regard, but does what it needs to do. However, although that is really nice to de-ward those observers, you have to remember that's sentries they're not putting towards the Bounty Hunter. However, it looks like he won't be able to invis much longer with his current predicament of his mana pool. So I'm not sure what he's going to do now that he is completely out of mana and far from home. In the meantime, though, he is kind of transitioning towards mid. Jing is getting a little bit of experience. They kind of made a mistake that the creep wave did push out to this position here, so she has, or he has, for that matter, acquired level 2. Open up a drink. But along with that, Rorgok now has a good flank to try to initiate the Ursa clap. Does not go on through, cancels it off. The Gale misses, and Jing will just walk away. They waste a lot of cooldowns for that and a lot of time. In the meantime, Jing didn't take a single drop of damage. On the other hand, zoning out RH Excellion is proving to be really easy work. They have the Observer Ward on the lane, but they haven't really had to use it, as RH Excellion hasn't really been in that area. He's just been zoning himself out with his positioning, with his own usage of his invisibility. He's very liberal with that. And although he has the Janata now, 2 last hit, maybe 1 creep. Yep, he has 1 last hit finally, but he's still sitting at almost level 3 when this creep wave expires. Yep, there we go. But nevertheless, he's in a pretty rough position, and he's going to have to do a little bit more for that. But what I was talking about before, the Chen and Venomancer action with the push. This Ursa Warrior has 1175 HP. Along with that, these Plague Wards doing so much damage, not just to the tower, but to the creeps specifically, can burn them down really, really quickly. So adding in a lot of push, and immediately Medic transitions towards bottom. Knows that's why I know that exactly why they picked up the Keeper. They saw the Chen, they saw the Venomancer, and they feared for their towers. So they picked up the Coddle, and as soon as they see that push coming, teleport into tier 2 and get some Illuminates rolling, and that will shut that down really quickly. So they're forced to just farm and keep everything going complacently. So yeah, it's 0-0, no towers have fallen, but right now I would say that alone will give advantage to the Dire. They have a gold advantage just by a little bit of last hit action and nothing really going up on top, and although the Capitalist has taken a little bit as far as harassment goes, he's not doing too shabby and has plenty of restoratives at his disposal. Meanwhile, Zhao Yun topping out the last hit chart with 27, then comes Gyrocopter Al Capone 25 on bottom lane, and in the mid, it's actually Windrunner sitting down at 16 and 6. Chingu just completely controlling this lane, and although she has an empty bottle, I don't know about the rune. I thought actually it was already picked up, so that's not going to be a big deal. Invisibility on Chen doesn't really make or break any kind of engages there. So anywho, Templar Assassin controlling the lane rather well, CSing as best she can, and with that, they're going to have more experience than the enemy would prefer. Kenya Ring is going to have to deal with a Templar Assassin who is going to get key item, whether a Blink Dagger or BKB or whatever she wants, and they're just going to have to face facts and kind of deal with it. In the meantime, Bounty Hunter is finally getting some real experience, is in a position where he doesn't have to worry about sentries at the moment. Actually looking at the Dire, they have absolutely no detection whatsoever, so as long as he has mana for Shadow Walk, that will be perfectly fine. He will be able to fight on the lane, get a little bit of damage into Faceless Void. He does have 3 points in Bash though, so if that Bash comes on through, the Time Lock could put out a lot more damage into RH Excellion than he would prefer. Now with an Ice Path, they really want to do some auto attack harass. The Liquid Fire is rank 1, so it's not going to be there, but yeah, he burned him down. He only has 1 salve remaining, and then he's going to have a hard time sustaining on the lane. But in the meantime, Keeper of the Light doing some easy camp pulls, but with the adjustments made, it's a lot easier said than done. But they're going to kill this little easy creep and delay the range creep to possibly try to add in some push. In the meantime, Jing getting some experience of his own. I definitely think for Can You Ring's side of things, if they can get their Bounty Hunter to level 6, it's going to be much more relevant than the Queen of Pain hitting level 6. Rank 1 Sonic Wave is nice, but it's not the end of the world one way or another. So if RH can get his track, go back to Fountain, heal up, and then start ganking mobilely, possibly on the Templar Assassin, that's when the plays will start happening. That's when the momentum will start shifting. For the time being, the status quo remains, and with that, whoever's getting the most farm, which currently looks to be combination of the Dire. I mean, obviously Gyrocopter's at the top at the moment, but now with his Faceless Void, he's going to get First Blood. Pops off the Chronosphere. Ice Path does a little bit of extra damage, and one more auto attack that's going to be First Blood to Faceless Void. And look at that GPM shootout now at 400, and he has his Midas. He has his Midas pop, 190 more gold, 430 GPM. That's insane just to start off with from that perspective. So he's doing extremely well, and with that 3,400 gold, he's going to buy Ring of Health and look for a Battle Fury. Battle Fury Midas on this Faceless Void. If he has to team fight, it's a really bad build, but if he can delay and turtle as much as possible, which Keeper of the Light is born for, well, he's been around for a while as he is a, what do you call that thing that's, oh well, whatever. He's like Wisp and Chaos Knight, a familiar, or fundamental, there we go. So, but anyways, Keeper of the Light is really, really good at counter pushing, so if they can keep the defensive status quo and turtle up quite a bit, the fact of the matter is Faceless Void is going for a huge farm build. There goes a Sentry Ward with this Ice Path. Oh, the Ice Path doesn't land. If it had, that would probably be a really low HP Bounty Hunter, but instead, nice time lock, but that's all that she wrote on that regard. Anyways, once this Battle Fury comes on out, and with that Midas, this is going to be one of the highest GPM heroes possible, just because of the sheer farm you can get out of those two items. I mean, it's just gold at your disposal, handing money to you on a platinum platter, perhaps. But in the meantime, Gyrocopter has been getting quite a bit of farm for himself. He has the Magic Wand, Phase Boots, and Aquila, and is going to be looking to put out some aggression with his ultimate, with that rank 4 Rocket Barrage, trying to get in close for that. But unfortunately, he is going up against two heroes right now, and Chen is nowhere to be found. The spawn did not come out for Rorogok, and with that, it's going to be difficult for him to pull back the lane so that he can deny the experience of Medic and Jing. In the meantime, though, Rune Race is going on through. They're going to try to get the Invisibility Rune. It is denied by the Plague Ward. Nice action from the Venomancer. And with that, Chingu is not going to be able to refill his bottle. Same thing for the Windrunner, though, so they're kind of just going to have to Bottle Crow or remain as they are as far as their restoration goes. Bounty Hunter does have the 4-man shield available now, but it's only so much damage block when Faceless Void is hitting this hard right now, 82, and with the time lock potential to do 70 bonus damage. That's rather substantial, especially with Chronosphere involved. Nice track, though, will allow him to keep the Faceless Void at bay, and the fact that it does give Bounty Hunter bonus movement speed, making it difficult to close the gap there. But now it looks like the Chingu has transitioned down to bottom and was going to go a little bit aggressive, but with that ward there, they all fall back, and he's just going to go back to mid and farm up, because more important than getting kills right now is just try to continue farming for Genesis to make a really, really awesome mid game. But for the time being, keeping his tower alive, that's also rather essential. So Windrunner here is looking for a mechanism. She has the headdress, and that'll be pretty important as we transition in towards the mid game, and she can heal up, give some bonus armor, give some bonus health, 250. If you look at the mechanism of 250 health, plus the Hand of God, which can go up to 400, that's a lot of healing that can come out of Can You Ring. So it's going to be a little bit back and forth in that regard, but it looks like one of them's going for pipe and one of them's going for mech. It might be Windrunner's actually picking up a pipe of insight. Hard to say at the moment, but one way or another, they need to do something about this Faceless Void. Zhao Yun has just been farming up so effectively, getting like every single last hit practically, and he's going, as soon as his Midas comes up, he's going to have more and more items that he can work with here. He picked up the Treads, so maybe that Ring of Health won't be working for a Battle Fury, but whether or not it is, he still has a lot of gold to work with right now, and of course being level 8 doesn't hurt either. In the meantime, Archcellion gets the double damage rune, has a track available, wants to try to put some aggression out onto the Templar Assassin, but it pops off his Shadow Walk. All he has is mana for track. He needs to have her Refraction burn down, which Nato does no damage because of the Refraction, and he's going to have to fall back. So wasted his last bit of mana, and despite his double damage, it all got absorbed by the Refraction. And unfortunately, they just couldn't burn it down so that they could try to initiate like that. And of course, Queen of Pain transitioning mid to help out in that regard is also really important. But with this Liquid Fire, one more hit from the Faceless Void will give him a last hit on the tower, bringing him up to a GPM of 493 at 10 minutes in the game. That's so awesome for him at the very least. And Tier 1 is getting some pressure out from RX Cellium, but he is on low life. The deny is possible. Keeper of the Light looking for it. Illuminate comes on out. One more auto attack, and it's going to be Keeper of the Light that barely gets the deny. Now Chingu looking to get a little bit more damage into Windrunner, but instead slowed up by the Janata, changing his target to RX Cellium, who has Shadow Walk available. Do they have any detection? Doesn't look like it. The burst from Meld is a lot. And now Illuminate is going to go across. Will it hit him? I think it will burn him. Yeah, finishes it. Just barely hits him. He doesn't have enough mana for Chakra Magic, but it's well worth it for that kill. And at the same time, Jingu was dived on the Tier 2 tower. They were chasing him for a very long period of time, and that's what they can do with these Chen creeps tanking up the tower so much they can dive as much as they want to. And if they have a homing missile in pursuit, they can burn her down. Even with, the problem is she only has rank 1 blink. Because she's playing a little bit more aggressively with the Queen of Pain ranking the Scream, she can't get away from that homing missile fast enough, and with that they were able to finish her off. So nice pick off there, and it does put 1 kill on the board, but the fact of the matter is the deny came out from Tier 1, and the last hit came out on the Faceless Void, so this guy is going to become a monster in a very short period of time. Perseverance is up and running, to plus 10 damage as well as some good HP and mana sustain, and now he's going to be looking for that Battle Fury in no time at all. Along with that, looks like Splinter has his mechanism in a very short period of time. Right here, this is the buckler recipe as well as the full headdress, so all he really needs is that 900 piece. So meanwhile, while the Faceless Void has been farming up, because Chen hasn't been ganking, all he has been able to take down is his Tier 1 tower and 1 kill on the Queen of Pain. However, that has given him plenty of time to just freely farm away on the jungle, and although that's not the best usage of Chen's mechanics early game, it still gives you one great advantage, which is gold. So he's getting a lot of gold for himself. Actually, Chen sitting here at 233, which is not bad at all for such a hard support. But he is going to be getting that mechanism and just 100 gold, and that's going to be a big deal. Meanwhile, Bounty Hunter is running for his life. They've been so aggressive with him. They pop off the last sentry, but he gets the Hand of God, and they don't have any more sentry wards available. So they're just going to try to wait out the Shadow Walk. However, it's rank 3, so he's just going to be able to pop it off whenever he needs to. One auto attack goes through the Zhao Yu. Now he's under the sentry, makes a mistake coming back, and it pays for it with his life. Faceless Void actually picking up that kill. So more money, less problems, as they're going to be able to keep that momentum rolling. Meanwhile, a nice little shackle coming on from Keeper of the Light on this range creep with the Poison Nova, Poison Sting. He is going to drop down. Nice little pick off there. Really good shackle on that range creep, and good timing and usage of Rorgok's skills. Didn't even pop the Gale because he knew how much damage he could deal with that Poison Sting alone. Midas pops off though, and that is Faceless Void. He is so close, 600 more gold, and he will have that Battle Fury in a very short time period with a Midas in hand as well. So money is this guy's middle name, and he is using it quite a bit. So that's interesting. Chen is transitioning towards middle. I'm not sure if he wants to go for ganking or what, but there is an Observer Ward. So the second he comes down this cliff, as he just has, they just smoked up, but the Observer Ward spotted it, so they knew exactly if they were paying attention. If they were paying close enough attention, they know that these two are smoked, and these two are trying to go aggressive. And for that reason, Jakiro could back off. But for the time being, they're both kind of in aggressive positions, and they have the track on Faceless Void. It just expired, but they know where he is, and they're going to look to bring him down. The Chronosphere is on cooldown. The Time Walk, however, is available, but only rank 1. They're like, okay, we'll just take Jakiro instead. Shackle is enough to set up the Gale over the trees, and now Jakiro is definitely going to take the ball. Beautiful Ice Path, though. Catches 2 and all the creeps, so he will burn down people quite a bit, but it's just delaying the inevitable, as he will drop down, as well as Queen of Pain on the bottom, getting locked down by Gyrocopter yet again with that homing missile. Nice barrage work, and even popping the call down to make sure of it. Now, he is going 1v2, trying to burn down the Keeper of the Light, but a lot of the barrage went into the Templar Assassin. However, the auto attacks are enough. He is able to burn down the Keeper of the Light, now looking for Chingu, trying to finish him off, but doesn't have the movement speed. The drum charge has already been popped, and he cannot pursue. So that, unfortunately, was not able to get that second kill, but, 2 hero kills, Queen of Pain and the Keeper of the Light, and now taking down a Tier 1 tower up top. Venomancer getting the last hit on that is exactly what they want. And this is the time where Can You Ring really shines. They have the mechanism, which gives so much potential for these creeps to tank up the tower, and they can just push like crazy. They need Keeper of the Light. Does he have max Illuminate? Yeah, he has 3 points in Illuminate, so he's doing the best he can. And with that, he might be able to counter push effectively enough, but they need to blind right now, or Jakiro is going to drop. There goes the call down, which will bring him down. The Illuminate goes on through, but no, the Test of Faith doing the high end of scaling of the random factor there, getting a big nuke off to finish off the Keeper of the Light as well. So 2 heroes down. That's going to be an easy tier 2, and they're going to look to push down to tier 3. The question is Faceless Void farmed enough? He has a Battle Fury. He does a very nice amount of damage and has a decent amount of attack speed, but his entire item build has been designed about late game, getting farm, mice and creeps, just cleaving up whatever he needs to try to get the gold flowing. But right now he is in a spot where he cannot just go and freely farm his jungle, and it's exactly the opposite. His jungle has been compromised. Tier 2 and Tier 1 have fallen on the top lane, and now he really can't do anything but hold the line up on top. Now that doesn't, if they transition to Roshan, I'm not sure what they can do to contest it unless Shakiro has that macro pyre backup, which he's looking for, but they don't really want to worry about Roshan right now. They want to worry about towers. Keep that push rolling and put the pressure out. Windrunner fails to dodge the Illuminate, takes a lot of damage from that, but for the time being will be alright. Poison Nova goes on out onto the Queen of Pain. Beautiful placement of this Plague Ward. She doesn't have Blink available. It's only rank 1, long cooldown, and she gets caught out. She gets caught out by the Plague Ward. Love that action by Rorgok. Now Archexcelion does drop down. The Faceless Void ultimate has been popped, but he is stunned up by the Shackle Shot and therefore couldn't do too much with it. He does bring down, everybody drops down from the Illuminate. Chen has fallen, and now they're going to look to clean up here. Zhao Yun only has a rank 2 time walk in 4 seconds. Is it enough is the question. There is a blind available. They can knock him back into it, but right now he's getting kited all over the place. Needs a time lock. He gets it, but the Shackle is perfect. Beautiful Illuminate, barely catching him just on the end of the arc, and now it looks like everybody's going to look to disengage, but Jing wants to pursue, try to get that rank 1 Shadow Strike down on the Windrunner, but unfortunately not only is Windrunner available, but again, that rank 1 Blink, he is very immobile right now and doesn't have much that he can do with it. I definitely think that maybe not mixing Scream might have kept him alive a couple of times over now, but that's just how it goes. In general, I still think that the Team Genesis is in an okay position. The fact of the matter is they still have a lot of potential from this Faceless Void. He is looking for a Mask of Madness. I'm kind of going for a Crazy Glass Cannon build if you think about it. He doesn't have any durability, no BKB or anything like that, but he does have a lot of farm, and he is going to have a good level advantage because of it. So looking at his experience per minute, 514, but here comes a lot of damage. Beautiful Shackle again. Holy crap, baby, we are touching. I don't know where he came from, but he just has really good Shackle shots going on through, setting up 2 easy kills for Gyrocopter. One goes to Windrunner, the other to the Gyro himself, and Queen of Pain and Chihiro are the heroes in question that drop down now. Nice Illuminate going down on the creep wave, popping off the form, whatever you call it, spirit form, to make sure that he doesn't actually drop down trying to channel that Illuminate. So he will be able to counter push well effectively enough, but the tier 2 tower has fallen, and all they can do is just hope to contain the tier 3. The Faceless Void's ultimate Chronosphere will be up in 10 seconds. He has a TP scroll when he needs it, but they're just looking to take out the outer towers for the time being. Get that gold advantage through towers and play this push meta game. Play kind of an old school style of push meta. And right now it's been working for them thus far, but the gold earned, their time is ticking. They have to keep the momentum going or they're not going to be able to win it, because Faceless Void has 125 CS, that Midas of course, and he's farming up these creeps really quickly, but here comes the TP in. This is where they want to hold the line. Maybe not at this. They could actually pop the fortification right now, but they do not. They want to try to hold at the tier 3. I actually kind of feel like they should have gone right then with the Mask of Madness and the Faceless Void, but they weren't all grouped up together and they chose not to. So they're going to have to try to hold this line, but no, it's going to be the Team Can You Ring that just falls on back. They're going to be looking maybe to Roche. Nope. The Plague Wards will help out a lot in that regard, as well as Chen's Holy Persuasion creeps, but they also have to keep in mind Chronosphere and Macropyre are perfect for that small cone, that small circle there. So it's going to be like a death trap practically if they try to go on it, especially without Sentry Wards down in this position. Alright, so kind of a point of passivity, never mind. Winner caught out in a little bit of a bad position, but has a Force Staff. Now Venomancer jumps in with a Force Staff of his own, gets some damage over time effects onto Jakiro, and he will drop down with track on him. That's a nice amount of gold going over to Bounty Hunter, and now looking for the Templar Assassin as well. She does have the Poison Nova taking away the refraction, now down to 4 charges, instances of damage reduction, but was able to burst down the Venomancer, turn it around with that meld. Now looking to bring down Archexcelion. Do they have any detection is the question, and I don't believe they do. So he is going to be able to escape, but actually Chronosphere popped off onto 2. Zhao Yun dropped really low, but popping off his Mask of Madness is going crazy aggressive and is able to pick off 2 kills for his team as a result. So Chronosphere going on. Oh, Janata into the Shuriken. Really fortunate that neither one of those were backtracked, because it is a 25% chance, but he got both those abilities off and was able to bring him down. No trouble at all. Now the Barrage goes on through, almost finishing off the Queen of Pain, but it's not going to be enough, even with a track to pursue. Gyrocopter really wanted that kill, but it's not going to happen. Now trying to burn down the Templar Assassin, and burns down the refraction with that Barrage just doing so much work with it, being very, very effective. And with him and man, RH Excellion and Al Capone just cleaned up 2 really, really, really important kills. I mean, those are the 2 most important heroes on the Dire team. So getting those is essential for a good game and to keep the momentum rolling, which they continue to do. However, there have been some holes in their climb, and they have to make sure that they consistently perform at this level if they're going to keep the game alive, really. But right now, Faceless Void is going to be looking for some tankability items. He has the Mask of Madness, the Midas, the Battle Fury, so he has a lot of attack speed, and that'll get a lot of time locks in the Chronosphere. But now he needs to be able to survive outside of his Chrono. He needs to pop off that get the BKB. He needs to be able to avoid the shackle shots and damage coming out of Venomancer and that kind of thing. So that's what he's most likely going to be looking for next, but we'll have to see. In the meantime, though, it looks like they're going to be trying to see what's going on with Roshan, but yeah, Ezreal doing the exact same thing with that Illuminate, scouting it out, and using his unlimited mana pool just to make sure the line is drawn. Nice little shackle once more, but Queen of Pain just taking a little bit of damage as a result. Wow, Gyrocopter's items doing extremely well right now. Gyrocopter has BKB and Shadow Blade. That is a full ranked BKB as far as I know. Yep, 10 full seconds, has not popped up just yet. And he's actually currently beating the Faceless Void in farm, 537. And if he can get enough attack damage, that Flag Cannon can do so much to the opposition. But Chronosphere has been popped off. 1 hero only. He's looking for the Windrunner. He will be able to bring her down. And the Illuminate goes on through to hurt Chen a heck of a lot more as well. And with that Mana Leak, he should be able to be brought down, no problem. A lot of burst damage coming onto him. Now looking for Rorogak. Will they be able to slow him up enough? Trap coming up in 4 seconds. It's only rank 1, but I guess that doesn't really matter right now. And Gyrocopter comes in, tries to go 1v5, might actually be able to get some kills out of it. Looking for the Faceless Void, gets time lock for the time being. Faceless Void does not have that time lock for 1 more second, and for that reason it has been dropped down. Triple kill for Al Capone, completely cleaning this up. Now looking to Barrage. Apparently does not hit Invis. Actually did not know the mechanic, but she goes on, blinks on out to the eastern end. Dire have a ward there, but Radiant do not, and so she knows exactly what's going on and is able to TP out before the Shuriken can come. Anywho, Al Capone just takes this opportunity to push on, and that's just the power of Gyrocopter, cleaning that up so effectively with all those major items, that especially that last attack, Shadow Blade enhancing the Flat Cannon, burning through people really, really quickly, catching the Faceless Void with his time walk on down, kind of catching him with his pants down, and delivering the hurt. And of course they couldn't do anything in retaliation because he has 1689 HP with a BKB active. There's very little you can do. So Gyrocopter farming this effectively, using those items exactly as he needed to, and the momentum stays in the favor of Team Kenya Ring. So definitely, I mean, they started off, it was a little bit back and forth, but it's definitely a convincing lead. As soon as those mechanism went down, and the Bounty Hunter had track, and Gyrocopter wanted to transition out, they called it, they went up as 5, and they have done so well with it. And now, with the Centaur Khan taking up the Roshan, and the Plague Forts going down to deliver a little bit of extra damage, they might be able to bring him down in a rather timely manner. However, they have to keep in mind that the Dire are not too far away, and Chronosphere is only a few seconds off cooldown, so that's going to be really, really essential that if they can see it, there's nothing they can do. But the question is, will they know? And I don't think they have any reason to know, so they are actually going to be able to bring this down and get the Aegis Immortal on Gyrocopter, which is huge for them right now, as it enables them to actually try to contest this Tier 3 tower, push uphill, and try to deliver some real damage. And track goes down onto Faceless Void, or actually onto the Queen of Pain, but not a big deal. Here comes the big push, and that's really going to make the difference. Not any little quick pickoffs, that's not what they're looking for. They are looking for a full team wipe going on through here. They have the BKB up on Gyro, and they are looking to burn things down. Unfortunately, Chen needs 1 more creep wave to get a rank 2 Hand of God, which is so essential right here. As far as Pipe, still a long way off for Windrunner, but not the biggest deal in the world. And Dire, I love this ward placement up on the plateau here. That's really essential for them. They have a couple more minutes knowing exactly where Gyrocopter has transitioned, where he's going to be farming, and for that reason they know Rorogak is actually by himself. They're looking to initiate on him possibly. The trap goes on through, but Zhao Yun does not want to jump in with a time walk. Instead, just keep track rolling, and that's going to inhibit him quite a bit. But the Ogre Club is up. He does not have buyback available right now. If he does drop down, it is for good, or at least for the seconds of duration that he will be down, but he is going to get a rank 3 Chronosphere in a short time period that will upgrade the duration to 5 seconds, and that's relevant. That's very, very relevant indeed. So that's going to give him more time to DPS with that Mask of Madness active without fear of retaliation to a general extent. But it looks like Al Capone is going so aggressive right now. Pops off a homing missile, flat canning up on the tower. What it does is harass anybody within 1,000 range, even while he's attacking the tower. So getting some tower damage in, getting some harass in, and he's fearless because of this Agency Immortal. Even if they initiate on him, they could go into an unfavorable engagement in this 5v5 that they want to turtle as much as possible. Caudle, just keep spamming your illuminates. That's all you can do. That's all you really need to do. If you can illuminate enough, then you can still hang on to this. Before Keeper of the Light was released, this team lineup that the Radiant have, Can You Ring, would just have completely demolished and the game would be over by now, but right now these Illuminates coming out are all that's holding them to try to keep them going. The GPM has definitely slowed on the Faceless Void, even when he uses his Midas on cooldown. It's just he doesn't get out of the base, he doesn't get the chance to farm up, but that farm, I would say, in a 1v1 situation, matters so much more in Faceless Void, as he can just deliver so much hurt to the Gyrocopter. I mean, he might actually even be looking for a Yule Scepter or Divinity, just trying to tornado out of that very pesky Chronosphere, because otherwise he's just going to get obliterated, assuming Zhao Yun knows to focus him, which I presume that is the case. Alright, so the line has been drawn for quite some time. Rorgok will not let any creeps push out of the base. I want to keep this momentum flowing and make sure that Faceless Void has no time to really farm up at all. But the stalemate has been drawn, and Keeper of the Light can keep that away quite a bit as well. Now they have done a mana leak on Gyrocopter, keeping him in a static position, hopping off the Scream, hopping off the Sonic Wave, trying to burn him down. He only has 150 HP, just auto-attack him. There we go. The meld goes on through, but the Agency Immortal will pop off. The Queen of Pain has dropped and will be forfeit. Popping off the trap, full duration, will slow him up quite a bit, but just a quick little Illuminate. Here comes Zhao Yun popping off the Chronosphere and doing a heck of a lot of damage as a result, but he's getting Test of Faith back. Test of Faith, he gets Test of Faith out. He survives. He will be able to TP back in and try to do some aggression here. They keep him alive, and the Chronosphere is now on cooldown, 100 seconds. Beautiful play by Chen. Beautiful play by Splinter. Keeps him alive, and now Zhao Yun is out of his big cooldown. Mask of Madness is a double-edged sword, people, and 30% damage increase received is only good when you're not taking damage. So that Chronosphere being on cooldown means that Tier 3 will fall. Shingu goes aggressive, drops down a Bounty Hunter down to 20%, but the tower has already fallen. They're looking to take the racks. Test of Faith goes down on Jujutsu, and with the power shot, it's enough. Just enough long-range damage. They're finishing it off. Queen of Pain looking for some damage. Does not have Aghanims, obviously, so she cannot ulti once more. She's just looking for the Screams. Now, Faceless Void pops in, uses Mask of Madness. Can he bring down Chen in time? That's what he's looking for, but he's taking so much damage. Brings down the Chen, falls in turn. He has buyback. Will he pop it? He needs to pop it. There's his only choice. He has to defend these racks. They have to hold on to this lane here. But he is not going to. He's going to... No, there he goes. There he goes. He's going to TP in, or just run in, time walk him, whatever he needs to do. Here comes Jing coming in with the TPs. Mill goes through onto Al Capone. They're going to try to bring him down. BKB has been popped off, but just needs one time lock to bring him down. Enough auto attack damage will do the trick. Rorgok will most likely take a fall as well. He just cannot escape. He has a lot of movement speed, but double time lock, that will be enough. Zhao Yun will bring him down. Double kill for him. Now looking for the Windrunner. The Windrunner is only rank 1, has expired, but 4 staff, and without the time lock, it looks like she's going to be able to get out to safety. That looks like really bad for Can You Ring, losing all 4 of those heroes there, but they forced the buyback of the Faceless Void, and the longer he lacks the BKB, the less of a threat he is. So Faceless Void right now, he is going to buy up a Mithril Hammer and get a nice little bit of bonus damage, but he's still 1,300 gold away from that BKB. He needs to finish the recipe if he can has any chance of surviving. However, the racks have been saved. That buyback was necessary loss, and with that, they kept the racks alive. Aegis will be back up in about 5 minutes, or sorry, the Roshan will, to contest the Aegis of the Immortal. But for the time being, the lanes have opened up quite a bit. There is a lot more routes to farm now that the stalemate has finally ended, and Zhao Yun has taken all the advantage he can of that to try to bring some creeps down really rapidly, getting his farm back up, actually closing the gap down on Gyrocopter, who was pretty much farming wherever he wanted. That's really good for Zhao Yun right here. He has level 18, so his Chronosphere is rank 3, back up and ready to go. But BHX Alien is stalking him. Mask of Madness has been popped off. He can do a heck of a lot of damage, but backtracks 1 hit, and he didn't pop the Shuriken. So yeah, the Junata was backtracked, and with that, not really too much care in the world for Faceless Void, as he has 8.8 regeneration per second. And with that, he has the Midas off cooldown, wants to keep his gold rolling. If he can get... What? He's going for Aghanims. He has an Ogre Club and a point booster, and he's going for Aghanim Scepter. So he's only 600 away from that, and if he can get that, that'll certainly be something. But right now, just going on, Rorgok gets one time lock, the 4 staff goes on out. He is actually going to get kited up. There's nothing that he can do. Shingu popped off his refraction, only 1 charge remaining on that. The track is there, so they could try to bring her down, but right now they just don't have the heroes there to do it. Chen is trying to get the jungle creeps back up, only has 2 at his disposal for the time being, and needs to possess a 3rd if he wants to keep his aggression rolling. But yeah, Aghanim Scepter allows the units on his team to act in the Chronosphere. It's reduced attack speed and I believe movement speed, but they can still do things. They don't get completely inhibited by it. Generally, you just prefer to get good Chronosphere placement and not worry about it. But he is going for an Aghanims. I don't know how to feel about that, but we'll have to see how it's going to pan out in this game, assuming he can finish it, which he's only 15 away. So he's going to finish that Aghanim Scepter, and the stats are nice. I mean, can't complain about that. Good health, good mana, and good plus 10 to all attributes. You can't complain. But and although that will give him some survivability, I'm just worried that he might get stunned up too much by the Windrunner. Specifically, if he gets shackled up, he's pretty much toast. So he has to dodge the shackles and then try to use the benefits of his Aghanim Scepter to its fullest. So we'll see how that works out for him, but it also increases the duration. That is going to be a 6-second duration there. No! Oh! The Sentry is there, though. He's going to pick up the Al Capone. He was hiding in Shadow Blade, but it's not going to be enough. He wastes the Chronosphere to try to reveal him, but instead it's actually going to be the Sentry Ward that just barely clips it. That's pretty much maximum range right there, but they found him. They came, they saw, they conquered, and with that they are going to be able to push out more aggressively. The Gyrocopter is down for 65 seconds. He has buyback, doesn't want it. Actually 20 off, but whatever. He has his Manta Style. He wants to save and get a little bit more gold because obviously your carry needs the money. But right here, the fact of the matter is getting that kill is a really, really nice pickoff. Even if it did cost them their Chronosphere by accident, he'll have that up in about a minute. Now, I might have made a mistake by saying what I did say. I believe that it right now the tooltip says that it increases duration and decreases cooldown. I remember there being an Aghanim Scepter effect where you could actually have your allies move within it, but I mean, at the very least, the 6-second duration is going to be rather effective. I'm not sure if there's the secondary benefit. If somebody on chat wants to help me out with that, I believe there is an extra benefit on the Aghanim Scepter where your allies can move it with reduced attack and movement speed, but one way or another, he does at least have the Aghanims, has the really long duration, 6-second Chronosphere, so that will be a powerful disable indeed. Now Archixelion doesn't get the Trogov, was looking for it, but not going to happen. Has a Sange, maybe looking for Evan's Halberd just to try to disable Zhao Yun, but he also has the Demon Edge. I guess that's for an MKB, in case he goes for a Butterfly, but that's really not what we're seeing here. We're seeing a lot of different things. BKB is going to come out for Templar Assassin in a short time period, just 100 gold, and that's going to be a pretty big deal. As far as other items to keep in mind, the Yule Scepter of Divinity has finished on Venomancer, so even more kiting and cat and mouse games that he can play up against that Faceless Void, dodging out of Chronosphere and things like that. Zhao Yun, his Chronosphere is back up, he pops it, his allies are caught in it, so nothing about that. He gets Yuled up by somebody, I believe the Venomancer on the back end, but they are able to kill off the Windrunner, and that's what counts. Yeah, he popped off the Yules, but it wasn't enough. The kill went to the Faceless Void in the end. So, yeah, I guess I'm not losing my mind. I know that benefit was there before, but obviously it's no longer. But, yeah, so Faceless Void just increases the duration of his Chronosphere, and that's all said and good. Now, Time Lock's coming on through. BKB won't help you when you just get bashed physically, and now he's going to be able to be brought down, and even killing the homing missile. So, he's going to finish the job there. And he's still on over half life, so not having too many issues there. Bringing him back up to near full, and with that just going to farm up some creeps with that lifesteal to finish that aspect there. So he didn't really lose too much there. Gyrocopter, I'm not sure what he was doing. Apparently thought that he could 1v5 like before, but the circumstances of that, you got to remember the context. He was cleaning up a fight where everybody's almost already dead anyways. Great Pain, Dosey Dome with Archixelion. Does take a heck of a lot of damage in turn, but, you know, now he's time leaked, is stunned up by Trapper. No, he's getting Teth to face back. So he's like, whatever, I'll be back just a few moments. But in the meantime, it looks like there might be an opportunity to control Roche. The Chronosphere is back up once more, and they're going to be looking to take Roche right here, right now. So Faceless Void just burning through that with a Mask of Madness really rapidly, and the only person really here is Rorgok putting up Plague Wards, but you know, whatever, what is he going to do? So that Aegis Immortal is going to go to the Faceless Void, and with that Zhao Yun being level 20, having a Mask of Madness, Battle Fury, Midas, and Aghanims can really do a heck of a lot of hurt. I mean, he can just keep farming and just farm wherever the heck he wants to because he has those 2 lives, or he can go aggressive and try to push down some towers, which I believe will be the case since they are so low on towers right now. They have definitely built for the late game, but taking some towers, getting some gold for the whole team will really help try to regain a lead because they're still 12,000 gold behind and they cannot let that continue. They have to regain some lost momentum or else they're going to lose a lot more than that. So 35 minutes in, currently the top 5 GPMs 4 of them are Radiant Heroes. I mean, Chen is beating out a Templar Assassin. I don't even know what to think about that. Has an Aghanim Scepter. What that does is a 30-second cooldown on your ultimate, so you can practically just AFK in base and give your team like 300, 400 heals every once in a while, no big deal. But of course, you don't want to AFK in base. You want to stay aggressive, stay in the action. He just needs to make sure that he has the mana to sustain it, because he's been doing a lot of tests of faith, which have been very good at pulling like Gyrocopter out of a really, really terrible spot, but it costs a lot of mana. Zhao Yun jumping in, going for a Chronosphere on Chen alone, but gets used up by the Venomancer, using that item to its fullest. No BKB, gets stunned up by the homing missile, trying to burn down Chen, just can't do it. Now Zhao Yun's going to take a fall. Agency Immortal pops off. The Templar Assassin, despite having the BKB, is just getting hit too hard, and now Zhao Yun going to try to time walk away. I don't know if it'll be enough though. Holy crap, awesome mules coming out of the Rorogok, and that won them that fight for sure. Queen of Pain and died on the back end. Templar Assassin died on the front end despite her BKB, and now they don't have the Chronosphere. They're going to have to work through the Time Walk, and from there they're going to lose the racks, I do believe, because there's really not much more they can do, especially with Jakiro on such low life. Now they do have a Gem of True Sight to presumably detect out the Bounty Hunter, but other than that they really don't have anything in their favor. They are going to lose these racks, and they're going to have a hard time with that creep wave continuously pushing in. Okay, so I was thinking of the wrong Aghanim Scepter, maybe a HON thing. I played HON like a year ago and had that weird stuff, but anyways, right here, they're going to be able to burn the Gyrocopter at least once. No! Actually got killed, got stunned up, and didn't survive, and that's the problem of a Faceless Void without a BKB. He has crit, he has a lot of damage, but he's not durable. He cannot survive against all this damage. Rorogok has a rank 2 ultimate and a bunch of damage over time effects to apply right to his face. Along with that, the shackles coming out from Windrunner, the stuns coming out from Chen, and the homing missile just too much. He gets disabled, he gets locked down, and that's going to be 4 kills in favor of Gyrocopter right there. I mean, you can see it all on the screen. Don't even need to express it. It's just so much AoE damage. He has so much potential, and with that, they even picked up the Gem of True Sight, now taking down the Tier 3 tower on the bottom lane, looking at the racks. So Queen of Pain has bought back and wants to go counter-aggressive, but I don't know, it seems like a ploy of desperation right now. It's going to be very difficult, and I'm not sure if they can really finish the job here. Man, so Queen of Pain was looking for her Aghanim Scepter, but it seems way too long off at this point. One thing to mention is, again, still the Aghanims on Chen. He can continuously cast that ultimate off. So here is the final push coming out to bring down these racks. If these racks fall, it is going to be a good game. I don't care who you are. Taking down 6 racks at 38 minutes of the game, pretty much possible. Call down and homing missile along with the shuriken will finish off the Jakiro, and that's, I believe, all she wrote. Chronosphere, the last attempt. Here comes Zhao Yun. He wants to defend this, try to get a good chrono off. The shackle does not latch on anybody, so he actually might be able to get these 3. Will he go for it? He's not even. I don't know what he's doing, but he's just running for his life. He can't just run though. He has to go aggressive. And during the Chronosphere again, Rorogok using that Yules over and over. It's so annoying, and with that they will be able to bring down the Faceless Void. 80-second cooldown in his life, and that's a complete good game. Well played to Can You Ring. And I gotta say MVP to Rorogok. Despite that Aghanim Scepter increasing the duration of the Chronosphere, using Force Staff to kite around Faceless Void time and time again, and then using that Yule Scepter every time the Chronosphere came up, Rorogok kept his team alive from that monster truck of a void. And because he built it as a glass cannon, when you're not killing people, you're going to get dropped down. So he didn't have the BKB, he got caught out, he got Yule's up, and I don't agree with that Aghanim Scepter in this circumstance. It only gives you 1 second increased duration and the minute cooldown, and that's not enough in these circumstances. So he did get Yule's out almost every single time, and with that he wasn't able to capitalize on the main benefit of the hero, which is that big ultimate. So Bounty Hunter goes on through, gets knocked down, locked down as we're trying to finish it, but we all know the game is over. The creeps will be pushing out. I mean, look at these guys, 1270 HP, each of them dealing 100 damage. It's going to push out the waves. There's no way to counter-push this, and they're going to disconnect down out. So, good game. Well played. Can You Ring takes the finals of SECS 18.3, and that is just really, really cool and really awesome for them. Now, what I'm going to do is, I was talking about a little bit about a video guide that I'm going to be doing. It's about lane supporting. I have it pretty well, I have it almost all prepared. So I'm going to take a 20-minute break, grab some food real quick, and then at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, I will do the video guide. If you guys want to tune in and check it out, it's a new series that I'm starting up, developing it up, and it's called The Long Lane. have everything set up for that, and we'll start it off at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. We will have Fnatic North America's support player Rolo. He will be joining me on the stream to give a little bit more information in that regard too. It's about analysis and decision making, trying to improve players in general. So thank you for tuning in for this cast, and hopefully you can join me for that. Otherwise, I'll have the VODs up on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/blazecasting. Check it out. And for those on the VODs, check out my live stream, twitch.tv/blazecasting. Really fun game to cast. Got a little bit lengthy as far as the drawn-out phases, but it was really just about Can You Ring doing exactly what they needed to do. Picking off the Faceless Void with the disables because he didn't have that BKB was what they needed to do to win the game. So interesting Aghanim Scepter pickup, but it didn't pan out for them in the end. It's going to be the conclusion. Can You Ring takes them in the 1-0 of this